This is the last exercise of chapter 3, so we're looking at the Cartesian plane and we're going to learn how to write and plot coordinates on the Cartesian plane. So here are just some definitions regarding what a Cartesian plane is and what it's made up of. So a Cartesian plane is formed when a horizontal number line, which we call the x-axis, and a vertical number line, which we call the y-axis, intersect at right angles. And this point where they intersect, it's got a special name and it's called the origin. Okay. Second thing is that the Cartesian plane, sometimes we'll refer to this as a set of axes. Okay, so this is plural, singular is axis, and these two axes divide the Cartesian plane into 4 quadrants. Okay, so 4 sections. If I was to write a coordinate, okay, on the Cartesian plane, the way that I would do this is I would always state the x coordinate first, so that's going along the horizontal axis, and then I would put a comma in between the two numbers and write the y coordinate, okay, the value of y as the second number, okay, and that'll be in a set of brackets. So here is what a Cartesian plane looks like, okay. You can see you have the vertical number line here, which we call the y-axis, and the horizontal number line here, which we call the x-axis. You always need to label the x and the y here, okay, when you're drawing your Cartesian planes. You also notice that the 4 quadrants are listed, okay. We move anti-clockwise. So we start here on the top right and we move to the top left, move down to the bottom left, and then the bottom right. Okay, this is how you order your quadrants. Now, coming back to this word here, the origin, it's actually this point here, right in the middle. This is where the 2 lines intersect. You can see the number 0 there, okay? This coordinate, okay, which we call the origin, we would write this as 0, 0 in a set of brackets. Okay. You might have noticed here that there's a point labelled A. Alright, we're going to write down the coordinate of point A and see how we do this. Okay, so I've just circled here X and Y, making sure we always label those. Now let's have a go at writing the coordinate of A. Alright, have a think about which number comes first based off our definitions here. So if we read the X value first, that's along the horizontal axis. We're here in line with 3. Then we read the Y value, which is here at -4. So this is how I would write my coordinate. Bracket 3, comma, -4, and then my second bracket. Let's say you have an example where you are given a table of values. So they've labelled the X numbers here across the top, they've labelled the Y numbers across the bottom, and we've got 3 questions here that we're going to answer. So first of all, in question A, you're going to list the coordinates of each point. Alright, we'll see I've got a series of ovals, okay, around the pairs. Given that the table of values is given to you in this formation, where I have X numbers up here and the Y numbers down here, these 2 numbers, okay, as I look down each column, this is a pair of coordinates. I need to make sure I have an X and a Y number together, okay? So this might help you to pair each of your coordinates. And then we list them out. So this is how we would write each of these 7 coordinates listed here. Okay, like so. Question B, plot each point on a Cartesian plane and join them with a smooth line. So we need to set up a Cartesian plane, so it looks something like this. And then I'm going to plot each of these coordinates as a dot, okay, or a point. And you'll see that they all line up, okay, and form this straight line. So you would do this with your ruler. When you are drawing graphs, year 8, you need to make sure you're always using a ruler and preferably a pencil, okay. If you end up making a mistake, you can always rub it out. So this is why we always want you to use a pencil, okay, and of course a ruler. Make sure that everything is nice and straight. Question C, last part, describe whether the points lie on a curved or a straight line. Well, we can already see that our line here is a straight line. Okay. If you've got some graph paper at home, or any kind of book that has a grid, it would be pretty helpful to use that type of paper when you're doing exercise 3H. Alright, have a go guys.